I'm Donna Nova. I'm a glass bead maker. I've been making beads since 1983. I love doing it. I'm totally obsessed, and I'd love to see you all in the store sometime.
So what will you be starting with?
Okay, I'm going to just make a plain little bead for everybody to see how a little bead is made, and then I'll go on from there. This is a mandrel. Mandrel's made of steel. It doesn't conduct heat, so I can move my hands up very close. Although if I get too close, it is hot. It's coated with bead release, which is God, I don't even know what it's made of anymore, but it helps the bead to come off the mandrel. Okay, I'm melting the glass. This is what we call a gather, or in bead parlance, it's a glob. I'm going to touch it down on the mandrel and rotate the mandrel away from me. And as you can see, it just pulls the glass right off of the glass rod. As long as the glass is molten, it'll adhere to the glass on the mandrel. Some different colors. You want to go round. So as long as I keep it rotating in the flame, it'll go round.
What are you making now, Donna?
I'm going to show you how I make a bead with dots on it. Again, as I did before, I have to heat up the kiln wash bead release on the mandrel. That helps the bead come off later. And believe me, I have plenty of beads that I haven't been able to get off. Okay, what I do here is I just keep adding glass. It doesn't have to be perfectly round at this time because, as I said, the glass likes to go round in the flame eventually, and it'll sort of do it by itself. But I try to put it on so that it's fairly round. Makes it easier in the process.
Okay.
You'll see here, watching what I'm doing, that the glass is transparent when it's molten. And that gives me a good idea of the working temperature and how I can manipulate it. As it cools down, it goes opaque. So now it's transparent, and that's when it'll move. And now I'm going to take it out of the flame in a minute, and it'll go opaque. You can see the glass getting white. It takes a bit of time. Little dots on this bead. What I do is I heat the glass up just a little bit, the bead, and I touch down. This is called a stringer that's in my right hand here. I touch it down gently on the bead, and the glass that's molten will stay down on the bead. It won't come up. So for the beads that you see that have a lot of dots, this is done once for each color of each dot. I'm going to be making 2 discs, and after I make the discs, I'll join them together, and then I'm going to blow down this tube. Now, I don't suck in, I have to blow because it's very hot down that tube.
So this is how you get the sides of an equal size then, by doing them together on the mandrel at the same time?
as I'm getting closer to the center with this, it gets harder and harder to control what's happening. So one may be smaller and larger, but when I push them together, it forms a hollow in there. And when I get the glass hot enough, it wants to expand because the air in there is expanding.
I see it's starting to come together there.
Yeah, it is, and I push it a little bit. I have to be careful because sometimes it wants to go down too fast, and I don't want it down all the way. I want to still be able to control it, so I push it a little bit. I'm going to have to add more glass to fill up that space. I'm going to blow this out in just a minute. I'm trying to get it all evenly heated so that it all moves at the same time. It's very hard to do. I have a hard time with it. But, okay.
Wow, that's cool.
Very hard to make a round bead, perfectly round. This is a glass shard. I'm going to melt it onto the bead. Makes a nice abstract design. Never know what it's going to look like. But that's what makes it interesting. Is mouse CPR.
Excuse me, would you repeat that, please?
They say you should blow as though you're giving a mouse CPR. This is fine sterling wire, and in order to get little silver dots on the bead, I wrap this around and burn it off. Anyway, I'm melting it in, and that'll give me little silver dots on the bead.